Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. Continuing on, once again, as I always say, there's Wolfie watching out for creepers in the forest. Let me take care of business. There we go. I'm carrying around miscellaneous gravel and way too much cobblestone. But yeah, let's grab Wolfie. Let's head west, that direction, towards the Far Lands. Come on, Wolfie. Alright, yes, continuing on, I am happy to report that since the last episode, we're up another % over at farlandsorbust.com, our fundraiser for Child's Play charity. We're now up to 12%. That is $3,774.24 going towards Child's Play charity. Much appreciated. Much appreciated the support for that. And as you know, we just had the 10%. Oh, what's going on here? What's going on over here? Oh, let's not get ourselves murdered by the darkness. Murdered by the darkness. There we go. We just had the 10% thank you video. I appreciate everybody for their mostly kind words and comments, and everybody liking and viewing that video. That was awesome. I'm getting a little... Oh, danger. Yeah, I can't scale that mountain. So yeah, that's always nerve-wracking for me, but I'm getting a little bit better at it, with every in-real-life video. I'm not gonna, once again... Oh, careful, Wolfie. I'm not gonna turn this channel into a vlog channel or a real-life video channel. It's primarily a Let's Play channel. Kaboosh, you're dead, sir. But yeah, every once in a while, those thank you videos are kind of fun to do, so thanks again. Where was I at? Almost hit Wolfie there. What was I going to say? Now I've forgotten what I was going to say, but yeah, we're at 12%. That's awesome. You can keep going to farlandsorbust.com using the chip-in widget on the home page and contributing via PayPal directly to Child's Play charity to that. I wish there was, obviously yesterday, the 7th, YouTube at least said that they were forcing everybody into the new channel design. Dang it, this is not ideal. I mean, it's a nice view and a nice landscape, but can't really go anywhere, and Wolfie seems to know as well. But yeah, they've upgraded everybody to the channel design, which actually I have seen... Ow. Careful, Wolfie. I know you're not going to be, but careful. But I've seen some channels that still have the old channel design. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, I updated my channel. It's not as bad as I was anticipating. I mean, there's some customization that can go on, but it's a little weird. It takes some getting used to. So there's that. That happened. And I know a lot of you probably don't go to my actual channel that often, but you probably just view the videos from the feed, so a little of this, a little of that. But yeah, that's new over there. I made some upgrades to that, and I wish there was a way I could embed the chip-in widget on the YouTube page. But right now, the only way that you can get to that is farlandsorbust.com, right on the home page. That's right there. But yeah, there's that. Like I said, we did the 10%, and at 20%, I announced last episode that at 20% I will upload the video of me building my new computer. I know I originally said that maybe I would do it as like, let's feed Speedy, my pet box turtle, as many of you are wondering about, but I changed my mind. That just seems to fit in better, because I've actually got yesterday the majority, if not... Yeah, actually, all the parts came in yesterday. I got the motherboard, a CPU cooler, the RAM, and pretty much everything. And the stuff you saw in the 10% video was the graphics card. What else is up there? Solid state drive, the actual processor itself. So it's looking like probably next week is going to be when I'm going to do that. But I'm not going to, upload the video until we reach 20%. I don't want to run out of ideas, so I'm going to save the Let's Feed Speedy thing for maybe 30% or something like that. And I just saw today Newegg has a good deal on I showed you guys in my current computer, I have a 620 watt Corsair power supply, which is actually more than suitable for the system I'm building. I know a lot of people building PCs tend to, just get as big a power supply as you need, but that's, in my understanding, generally not a good idea because it's not going to be as efficient if, say, you get a 1,000-watt power supply, but you only need 430, which at peak, I did all the calculations, peak, that's what my system would need. So really, power supplies are more efficient the more of their power you're using, if that makes sense. The more, the closer to their peak power that you're using. Obviously, you don't want to go too close or over that because then you'll run into performance issues. But so yeah, the 620 would be fine enough. But there's a good deal on a 750 Corsair, and Corsair makes good power supplies. So I might pick that up because then that would enable, if say in a year or two I want to just add another graphics card, go SLI. Maybe I need to add a few more hard drives. It'll give me enough power for that. So instead of having to then disassemble all the power from my system, all I would need to do is just plug in a few more cables. So I might do that. That might be the only thing that might change from what I've said previously. But I'm looking forward to that. It's exciting, and yeah, look forward to advanced computer. Well, actually, you're probably not going to notice that much big of a difference in the video quality. Because YouTube is just 30 frames a second, but certainly in the frequency of videos, because I'll be able to render quicker and perhaps newer video games. So that's very exciting. And actually, that brings me to a question somebody asked, I think in the 10% video, or maybe it was the last Far Lines of Bust, I can't remember. What did he say? Dragons Rule 89 asks, what new games are you interested in playing? I've mentioned before, I'm looking forward to the new Tomb Raider game, coming fall of this year, I believe, and the Max Payne. I've always been a fan of Max Payne. I'm a little bit wary about this one, because it's now just being developed by Rockstar. The guys at Remedy and Sam Blake, who wrote the previous two games, are not involved, so it might be a departure from what I like so much about the previous games, but I'll be willing to give that a shot. And I've been watching the Yogs... Oh, hello, tree. I just ran right into you. Oh, I stubbed my toe. The Yogscast are doing videos on Guild Wars. Is it 3 or 2? One of those. And I've never played an MMO RPG, ABC 123, but it seems like if I was to get into one, it should be with a new game, so that I'm like, if I can't see myself suddenly playing World of Warcraft because, it's been out for however many years and I'd be way behind the curve and stuff like that. So I don't know. It seems interesting. I don't know if I would enjoy it, and I'm certainly not familiar with all the mechanics and the XP and magic things and doodads and whatever character creation stuff that goes on with that stuff, but it seems at least visually interesting, and it seems like it instead of like being like what I believe to be is the turn-based combat is kind of boring and pointless to me, so it seems more real-time combat, and I don't know when that one comes out, but I don't know, I might be interested in trying that if there's nothing else going on at that time. But no promises there. That would be the biggest departure from my normal gaming that would come from. And I have learned, I know I mentioned in the last episode, that Microsoft Flight Simulator, there's a new free-to-play version, and I didn't know it was already out. It's already out, so I might be checking that out sometime soon. It's called Microsoft Flight. It's not, I hear, as simulator-esque as the previous games were. I had Flight Simulator like 98 or something like that way back in the day, and I remember, it starts you out in Meigs Field and fly around Chicago and stuff. Pigoos. So this one I think is a little bit more geared towards the casual flight simulator, so it's probably not as in-depth as some realistic flight simulators are, but we might check that out. But the sun is setting, and I'm sleeping. And awakeness. And let's have Wolfie kill this pigness. Boosh! Get him! Get him! Well done, well done. But yeah, that just reminded me. I was just, when I woke up there, staring at the sun, and in astronomy news, there was a large solar flare in X5 class on March 7th. And that is due to send, charged particles towards the Earth, and they're due to arrive tonight, March 8th. And then, trigger pretty strong geomagnetic storms, and that's, the aurora, northern lights or southern lights. So if you live in kind of the higher, not altitudes, but latitudes or longitudes, one of those, you live closer to the poles, and even, a storm this strong, even this far down in Chicago, might be visible, some aurora. So I'm gonna try to maybe step outside and see, relatively speaking, with a broken toe. All right, let's use a boat here. All right, let's build a boat here. So yeah, that's certainly keep a watch. I know on Twitter a lot of people always, I'm seeing him here, and stuff like that, and they can be rather finicky. It's not like, there's a solar storm going on, so you're going to get continual, aurora, northern or southern lights in a particular area. They can come and go, in a matter of 15 minutes. You get kind of just a weird arm coming out, and you get to see them, and then they disappear. So it's a finicky thing, and it helps to be in dark skies, obviously, and obviously look to the north or the south if you're in the southern hemisphere. So look forward to that. And yeah, it's when I say X5 class solar eruption, there's different classes. X is the highest magnitude. I believe there's M, and then there's another one underneath that. But it's certainly not the strongest flare there's ever been. There was an X20 something. I think they kind of gave up on trying to classify it. That was back in the early 2000s. But when they're directed in the general direction of Earth is where we get the geomagnetic storms. And there's nothing to worry about. It's not 2012 end of the world type of situation. These things happen all the time. We're well protected by the Earth's magnetic core, and that's what causes, the magnetic field is what causes the aurora borealis, or aurora australis for those in the southern hemisphere. And woof. Taking a dive, Wolfie. So yeah, I mean, the worst they'll do is maybe cause some interruptions to communication satellites. They're not going to bring the satellites down or anything, and they might, international airlines might reroute. Sometimes international airlines go over the poles, or go over the North Pole and stuff like that as a shortcut. Maybe they'll reroute some of those, because the particles do carry some sort of radiation in them, which is stronger at the poles when there's a geomagnetic storm, but it's not that much radiation, and that's really just mostly, if you're just taking one flight, you're really at no major risk. It's mostly for the sake of the crew and the pilots who have to do those flights every single day. So they might be rerouted, but it's really, there's nothing bad's going to come of this. So if anything, it's an excuse, if you got clear skies and dark skies, to head outside and try to maybe see some northern lights. Or southern lights. But yeah, and people ask me if there's any way to observe with a telescope or anything these solar flares. No, not really, because they're very quick events, and they're at really specific wavelengths that are hard to get down on Earth, and wavelengths that you sometimes, men mostly, can't get down on Earth because we have the ozone in our atmosphere protecting us from those wavelengths. If you do have a solar telescope, like a hydrogen alpha telescope, you might be able to see the limbs of gas coming from sunspots and solar flares. Really, the best way to observe solar flares is to look at the satellite data. There's satellites called SOHO, S-O-H-O, Stereo, and SDO, Solar Dynamics Observatory, that get really awesome high resolution, and you can go to the websites and get real-time data. So like the data you're looking at and the pictures you're looking at of the sun are, from 5 minutes ago. So it's really cool to sit there and kind of refresh the page, and you get to see a new image, and you can create movies, animated GIFs or movies based on the latest data. Careful, Wolfie, careful, Wolfie, careful, Wolfie. Oh, you were careful. Well done. So yeah, that's something you should do. And if you want more information about the solar storms, I would recommend keeping an eye on spaceweather.com. That's a website all about this, and it has information on if there's a storm in progress, and pictures of people from around the world are posted there, and really good information. That's where I get most of my information about this sort of stuff. But yeah, so that's happening. That is something very sudden in astronomical terms that you can be part of and take part in and look at and learn about. So that's cool. I suppose I kind of mentioned it. The updates on the broken toe of 2012. I don't know. And once again, I actually haven't been to the doctor or anything. I've looked it up, and I've talked to family members who work in hospitals or in the healthcare field, and they say even if it is broken, the most they'll do is tape it to the toe next to it and give you some painkillers, and then charge your insurance and charge you a copay. So that's all I've been doing, is I've been taping my toe to the next toe and putting it on ice every now and again, and it's getting better. There was some interesting bruising going on the last couple days, but and it's still a little bit difficult for me to walk. I've tried, and I've gone out and gotten the mail and put my shoes on. It still doesn't like being in a shoe. There's still a little bit of pain when I have my feet in shoes, and it's not. Where's my boat? It's not totally ganked up. It's not like the toe is at a 90-degree angle. And some people were messaging me, "Oh, you should get that checked out because from now on shoes might not fit right and stuff like that." It's a little bit noticeable, by like a millimeter. You know how your toes are kind of stuck together. Oh, Wolfie! Your toes are kind of stuck together. There's a slight gap where there wasn't one. Like a millimeter. So it might be just dislocated for all I know. I have a high tolerance for pain, which is a good bad thing. I mean, it might, for all I know, I might one day have a heart attack and be like, oh, it's just heartburn or cramps. So my high tolerance for pain is both a blessing and a curse. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. Obviously, if it doesn't show any signs of improvement by next Sunday, then I might have to take her in and maybe get some x-rays or something to figure out if there's anything seriously wrong. But it's a minor injury in the scale of injuries one could have. Woof, indeed, Wolfie. Well, woof, indeed, Wolfie knows all about injuries, walking into cactuses and falling down cliffs and things like that. How am I doing on the wool? I got a bunch of wool. I gotta get rid of this colored wool. Woof. What else is up in the Farlander world? Oop, the sun is actually kind of going down. Somebody asked, where, I'm sorry, I'm not focused. I'm trying to walk forward and focus on, you saw how I have my notepad open on the second monitor. Mystery42 asked, when watching the 10% video, they asked, what model cars do I have in my office? He recognized, yes, there's up on the shelf, there's a blue Bel Air, a 57 Bel Air. That's, they're all, for a while I was collecting the 1/18th scale, and these aren't models I built myself. Oh, hello. These aren't models I built myself, these are die-cast models. The 1/18th scale, I was collecting those for a while, and I actually have far more in boxes, just in storage, so I got kind of carried away in terms of the collection there. But yeah, you saw the 57 Bel Air. I have that red car is a 52 Ford, I think. And on the other side is the Ford Rat Rods. There's an old Jaguar. And then there's a white and blue 53 Corvette, or 55 Corvette, something. That you might have seen, but they're all over the place. I'm trying to find something to do with those. They take up a lot of space. I mean, it's nice. Oh yeah, you got these cool things everywhere around, but I'm, like I mentioned before, I'm trying to get rid of the clutter. Oh, I've been walking in the wrong direction. I don't think for that long, but so there's going to be another sideways motion. Everybody, why are you leaning to the right, or why are you leaning to the left? Maybe maybe that'll cancel out the 15,000 blocks I was off in the axis. The y-axis in my where I was walking, but yeah, those are up there. Like I said, I'm trying to get rid of some clutter, so in the end, those are neat, but we'll see. I don't know. I'll have to donate or sell some of them on eBay or something, but yeah. And yes, I do have the 11th Doctor's sonic screwdriver under my main monitor here. A lot of you noticed that. among many other kind of interesting Easter eggs throughout that video. I think the sun is kind of behind that mountain, so let's... Oh, we're going to have to deal with a bunch of cows. Let's make the hidey hole over here. Boop. And sit. Hang out with your cow friends, Wolfie. And we'll dig a subterranean... Ah! Out of the way, jerk-ass. Subterranean hidey hole here. Boop, 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 boop. That's sand there. There we go. Let's cover ourselves up here. Indeed. All right. So, this has been another episode 129 of Farlands or Bust. I can remind everybody once again to continue going to farlandsorbust.com. This is going to collapse, isn't it? Go to farlandsorbust.com to... Ooh. Hey! That's interesting. I don't think I've ever been able to do that. Johnny Quickfingers over here with the torch placement. Interesting. I'm going to leave that. That's cool. Yeah, so you go to farlandsorbust.com to keep contributing to the Child's Play charity fundraiser over there. That'd be much appreciated. Like I said, we're just up to 12% right now. There, I got rid of that colored wool. So yeah, that'd be much appreciated, and I appreciate all the support for the milestone videos and Farlands or Bust. I really appreciate it. And oh, I forgot to. I was talking about the computer parts. I want to quickly thank Dustin, Chris, Sam, Bo, and Craig. And Craig specifically wants me to remove the gravel from my Minecraft server basement. There's something down there. That's where I bury the bodies. But we'll see about that, Craig. But thanks to those people for giving to the Farlands or Bust channel, the tip jar. You're making this new computer possible, and you are all producers of Farlands or Bust because you're helping making the channel that much more awesome. That block is kind of in the way, so I guess I'll do that. So yeah, thanks once again for watching. You can click the like button if you like this video. That always helps. And you can subscribe if you're not already, and you can leave your comments in the comments below asking me more questions. Ask me about the solar flares, astronomy, Farlands or Bust, computers, anything at all. And my name is Kurt. I will see you next time.